My name is Isabel, and I am the CEO of ICEP Global Parks, a state-owned company that runs ZILS, the Sines Industrial and Logistics Zone. For not everybody, I think everybody must know ZILS, but maybe many of who are here doesn't know what it is. It's in a short way, it is the largest industrial zone in Portugal. 1 hour and a half south of Lisbon, and nearby the biggest and the only deep sea water port of Portugal, the port of Sines. And why I'm talking about Sines and the industrial zone in an event like this, a platform that joins the players of the digital infrastructure, the suppliers, the companies that act in the digital. Very simple. Because Portugal, and especially ZILS in Sines, is becoming increasingly one of the most strategic locations for the landing of submarine telecommunication cables, and also for data centers. As we all know, submarine cables are the backbone of the interconnection digital, and carries about 95% of the international data. With the growing demand, especially with the big, enormous development of the artificial intelligence, especially after the pandemic, we have been the growing and the demand for plots for data centers is absolutely incredible. Every day we receive demands for new promoters looking for a site in Portugal, and special in Sines. I will now. Oops. Okay. As we know, what in the past was a little strange, because we say we were in the western part of Europe and we are not seen as very central. But with this new configuration of the world, now Sines and Portugal is considered to be in the center of the world, and also a unique location on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean, and directly linked with Americas and with Africa. That means that cables arriving to Portugal can very easily achieve other markets, especially in Europe. But of course, geography is not enough. What really sets apart Portugal is we have a political stability, we have modern infrastructures, and many of here are responsible for that. And also there is a strong commitment for digital transformation. As a full member of the European Union, Portugal provides a stable regulatory environment, strong data protection, aligned with the general data protection regulation, and also open access policies that are attractive to global operators. In Sines, we are also developing ICEP Global Parks, environmental study, and to establish what we can do in that area. I don't know if everybody knows, but we manage around almost 4,000 hectares inside the industrial area, inside the PU, the plan of urbanization, and we also manage 8,000 of hectares that are focused and that they are managed for us to put renewable energy production. This has been very difficult because nobody likes very much to have solar panels and windmills in their lands, and the municipalities are not they don't like very much, but they pass to ICEP Global Parks that objective. We want to make to make a energy transformation in Sines, and we want to decarbonize the industrial area. And this is also that plan, environment plan that we are developing. We want to have very clear to the investors where the areas that we can put the solar plants, the areas where we can put industry, that the areas that are green and will stay green. That stability is very important. This plan is going to be in the public consultant in the next months. And it's very important to have a way, a road to run, so that our investors don't have to wait so much to have their licensing and the permits for developing the activity. And that's why Sines is becoming so demanded. So many promoters choose Sines, because we have renewable energy with low prices. And of course, that all data centers want to be green and want to have a lower carbon footprint. Another key point is that Sines is already hosting significant digital infrastructures projects, Ela Link that connects directly Europe to Brazil, and also the famous Start Campus data center that is every day in the news. Solar, wind, and geothermal renewable energies are increasingly being integrated into data centers. We don't have, as you know, geothermal energy, but solar and wind, we are in the best place in Europe to produce this kind of energy. Sines is very focused on developing hyperscale data centers and also aiming to have more submarine cables to land in the region, so that all network is completed. Also, we are working with the industries that will produce components and hardware for data centers, so that we can have a cluster in the country. The Portuguese government is being actively supporting the growth of digital infrastructures. Entities are working streamlined, especially in the licensing process of submarine cables to support connectivity. And that's why we, with some players that are in this event, we launch SinesTech Innovation and Data Center Hub. What is this? This is we work together, all these companies, and we welcome new companies that want to join our project to work in the best environment to attract this industry. Not only us that we manage geographically the area, but also energy producers, data center enterprises, communications companies, and also very important, the human resources, that it's very important, the universities and universities and also the technological schools that are working with us to have a talent pool in the area that can assist the development of the sector in Sines. But to summarize, and I don't have much time, I want the message I want to pass is that Portugal, and particularly Sines, offers a unique combination of geography, infrastructure, stability, and forward-thinking policy. It's a natural gateway between the continents, and it's a safe and also scalable location for landing stations and growing up of green digital infrastructures. I strongly believe that Sines has really play central play to develop next generation of global connectivity. Thank you very much.
Isabel, you can sit there. I invite you to sit there. Thank you. The next speaker is representing one of the Portugal's essential energy and telecom networks on organization, connecting resilience, innovation, and national infrastructure. Please welcome the General Manager of REN Telecom, Rui Franco.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to start thanking Atlantic Convergence for inviting us to be here. I'm the head of REN Telecom, like Mariana said. We are part of the REN Energy Group, and it's very important for me to be talking here about digital autonomy. But when we talk about digital autonomy, we usually forget, we talk about process, we talk about applications, but sometimes we forget um, what's fundamental for this, which is infrastructure. Okay, so my proposal here is to make a sum up of the infrastructure that is fundamental for digital autonomy, and I will start with submarine cables. Then I'll talk about data centers and terrestrial networks. So these are the three pillars. So just to briefly revise the submarine cables that we have in Portugal. Portugal is indeed a very unique country in the sense that, and this has been like this since I worked in Marconi 25 years ago, but nowadays it's even stronger, the position we have as a gateway for submarine cables. This was already stressed out, I think, before by Isabel and by other people. We have 20 active and planned submarine cables. The existing ones are these ones. So in the last 4 years, we've seen four very important systems landing in Portugal, entering into service. And these were in 2024, the To Africa, which is the largest, is promoted by Meta, is the largest submarine cable in the world, connecting Portugal to Africa, but also to Asia. Then we had Equiano, promoted by Google. It's not so big, but also very, very important. It connects Portugal to Africa. And then we had, of course, a system which is very dear to my heart, Ella Link, landing in Sines, like it was already demonstrated by Isabel. And it connects Portugal to South America with branching units to some points in Africa, Cape Verde, Mauritania in the future, and Brazil, of course, and French Guiana in the future. So these are the existing ones, and this followed up on a period of almost a decade where he had no investments, and that was when the last systems that I'm showing here, the WACS, the ACE, and the EIG were deployed. But now it seems we are back in business, Portugal. So we have tremendous existing submarine cables, but there are more to come, okay? And this is public information, basically. But Nuvem will come next year. This is the Google submarine cable that connects Portugal to North America, to the United States. Very, very important submarine system. The Medusa that comes from the Mediterranean will come around also to Portugal. And the Pisces system in early 2028. I was just talking to these gentlemen a while ago. And they are hoping to do it in 2028. This is a system which is connecting Ireland, France, Spain, and Portugal. And there are rumors and talks which I cannot mention about other systems to come. So the story does not end here. I think we have really very good conditions. This adds up to the existing domestic systems, and my colleague Alberto, which we'll talk again, will tell you about the CAMRING, the mainland Açores and Madeira, and the new system. I'm sure you will talk about that, Alberto, and other systems that exist domestically, and the new systems, the new CAM and the Olisipo cable by Ella Link, which is due to come also in 2026. So we have really a very impressive set of submarine cables in Portugal, but the infrastructure does not stop at submarine cables. Data centers are also fundamental, are let's say one of the other pillars for the digital infrastructure that is so important for digital autonomy. So I'm also a proud member of board member of Portugal DC Association, which was created 2 years ago to promote the business of data centers in Portugal. And Portugal Data Center Association just issued last week a market outlook, which has this forecast for Portugal. In 6 years, we expect to multiply by 40, more or less, and this is, of course, a forecast, the existing capacity 1.5 gigawatts. Okay, this is really important. And the main projects are, of course, Start Campus, and I think everyone knows about Start Campus these days, but there were days where nobody knew about this project. We've been from the beginning supporting this project, and they just announced a mega deal with Microsoft and Nscale for deploying 12,600 NVIDIA GPUs in Portugal, and these are the latest generation GPUs. So really very important deal, because this is the largest batch of GPUs coming, of this type of GPUs coming to Europe. Then we have Equinix, which just expanded in June its second data center in Lisbon with the 4.5 megawatts. We have Atlas Edge, which I think we all seen this last Tuesday inaugurated its data center very nearby Lisbon, 5.1 megawatts already working and in place, with at least 2 planned, and on the next plot planned to have 24 megawatts. And my slide is out of date for a few days, because list 3 is already forecast for, I can't remember, I think more than 100 megawatts. Atlas Edge just committed, or has committed to invest 500 million euros or dollars, I don't know, but never mind, it's the same thing more or less, in Portugal. So very impressive, I think. We have this deployment from Volteco in the south of Lisbon for 15 megawatts to be ready next year. We have, of course, the Merlin data center, also very impressive. They have been deploying data centers in Spain with a huge success, and now they are already starting the process to build a new one in the north of Lisbon, in Castanheira do Ribatejo, which will start with 72 megawatts, but has already secured 228 megawatts, and the first stage will be ready at the end of 27. So these will be very hot years in the next few years. We also have this platform, Keta, which has publicly also announced to deploy 6 data centers in Iberian Peninsula, with at least one of them being in Portugal, and with 10 megawatts. So different types of data centers. I won't go into much detail, but you can see different types of data centers here. The same study I mentioned a while ago from Portugal DC also states that by 2031, more than 13 billion, so 13,000 million euros in capex are expected, with these projects and others to come, which are not yet public. And this will create 9,400 jobs, and will contribute to the Portuguese GDP with 3.7 billion. Anyone knows how much is the Portuguese GDP? This was an old tricky question. It's around a little more than 300,000 billion euros. Okay, so this is really a very impactful industry, and of course it will change a lot our lives. I just want to stress this because it's really very important. But quite recently, I think on the 3rd of October, and by proposal of our sister company, REN Electric Company, the government announced a new decree law that will allow to unlock multiple energy projects. Not only data centers, but data centers are like, I don't know, 80 or 90% of the current demand, and this will allow faster grid connection, namely to the REN grid. So the estimate here is, this is public, by the way, this is public data. It was taken from newspapers, and these were declarations from the minister. 26.5 gigawatts is what there is already in the pipeline. Okay, so this is really very impressive. It will not happen everything, because our peak consumption is 10 gigawatts in Portugal. This will not happen everything. There is of course a bit of speculation here, But if it happens 10%, we'll have 3 gigawatts, which is 30% more than what we have right now. So big challenges ahead. And adding up to this, and I don't have more space on the slide. I could go on with more news about data centers, but I chose this one, which says that Banco Português de Fomento is promoting, most of you probably know this already, a candidacy of Portugal to host one of European Union's AI gigafactories. And this is not, by the way, in the forecast of Portugal DC Association, which is already out of date when it was published, okay? This is really happening very fast. Okay, our contribution, just to tell you a little about terrestrial networks, I'll tell you a little bit. So we offer dark fiber and data centers, leveraging on the existing infrastructures from the energy companies, the electricity and the gas company. On the dark fiber, we operate the largest and most stable neutral backbone in Portugal. It's based on critical infrastructures, and it's split among the gas and the electric grid, mostly on the electric grid. It's more than 8,000 kilometers of optical fibers, and most of them, as I said, on the electrical grid. We have a record number of 8 interconnection points in these two grids with Spain, and we have partnerships with Simulus companies in Spain to provide services between Portugal and Spain and even beyond. Okay, we access currently 2 submarine cable stations, and these networks can be accessed in more than 200 access points all over. So as I said, these are the same grids that are used to manage the energy grids, which are extremely critical and classified formally as critical infrastructure. We are now investing in expanding and interconnecting these networks so that they have more value to the digital ecosystem. In data centers, we are the largest provider of B2B data centers enterprise. That's our focus. There are, as I said in the previous slide, there are different types of data centers corresponding to different businesses. We operate 2 data centers currently, Ribadav and Hermesinde, with a total power split 50-50 among the two of around 4 megawatts, of which 30% is sourced from renewable sources, which are installed in place, solar panels in this case. So around 3,000 square meters of IT rooms. Both of them are certified by as Tier 3 by the Uptime Institute, which is a very demanded certification from our clients. And of course, we are looking forward to expand here, both organic, non-organic, or with partnerships leveraging on our access to land, power, and fiber. And with this, I complete my snapshot about infrastructure. I hope it was useful. Thank you very much.
Finally, with deep experience in telecommunications and a front row seat to how infrastructure supports digital transformation across the country, is the Director of IP Telecom, Alberto Passos.
Do you hear me? Okay, thank you so much for being here and for attending our presentation. I'll start doing a small presentation about IP Telecom, what IP Telecom is, also what are our view, what's happening, especially in terms of connectivity and in the North Atlantic, and then the projects that we have and how all these projects and the connectivity melts together, brings together the role that IP Telecom has on this. So let me start this. Let's see if this goes okay. So the company, IP Telecom, basically is for the moment, the only operator owned by the state of Portugal. So it belongs to IP Group, Infrastructures of Portugal, and we do run, I think, the biggest backbone, fully buried of dark fiber in Portugal. So we have, among our assets, most important is the 7 regional service centers, more than 6,000 kilometers of optical fiber cable buried on the ground, 3 data centers in Portugal mainland, and with connecting all this, some 3,500 kilometers of ducts. So this is IP Telecom, basically network. The previous presentations were about most the frontal, the ocean. This is about Portugal infrastructure. So This is very important. We have more than 300 islands across Portugal, and more than 160 of them are used by our customers. And I will speak a little bit more about our customers, which basically are all the operators and hyperscalers present in Portugal. So with that and the NSOC working 24 hours per 7, we match the requirements of the most demanding customers that we have today. So IP Telecom and the projects. Some words about the projects that we have. We have already heard a little bit about Atlantic Cam, which is a project that I will explain a little bit more in the next slides. We are in the Quantic Networks project here in mainland Portugal. The Lisbon data center is being expanded right now, and we'll have a new submarine cable coming, which is to connect the Azores Islands. So we do have a lot of things going on, and we do have a role in connecting all the operators and all Portugal mainland. So what do we think, what do we view, what do we feel about what's happening with connectivity in general and global terms? So there's a huge increase. This huge increase started with the iPhone, in fact. The traffic has been increasing a lot, and you can see that from 2010 to this year, we passed from 900,000 kilometers to more than 1.5 million kilometers. And so there's some information about this is the big panorama, that's what we have. There's information that there will be needed more 15 maintenance boats in terms of connectivity, subsea connectivity, and the major growth, even though it will be in Asia, we have seen a lot of new cables on the North Atlantic. And concerning that, North Atlantic, we have the Atlantic Cam cable, which basically will connect Portugal mainland to Açores and Madeira. This is to guarantee the digital cohesion in the Republic, the Portuguese Republic. And also, this will have a very important role, as we have seen with the new projects being announced. So, what we think, what we see right now is that the same happened in the Pacific with Guam and Hawaii is now happening with Bermudas and the Açores. And then our system will connect to Sines, that we have already heard a lot, which is a very nice project. We invested, we did think it was a good project for Portugal itself, not only for IP Telecom. And so from Sines, we have right now 4 interconnection points. All these points, all these interconnections are today, as we speak, with international traffic going on. So, the project of the Atlantic Cam itself. So, there are a few things that has to be said. So, you can see we have point of presence in all the major connection traffic points in Portugal, including some of the data centers that we just heard Rui Franco from REN Telecom speaking. Basically, the submarine cable will deliver 160 terabytes per second, where today is only 300 gigabytes. So it's like more than 500 times more connectivity. And with the new cables that are coming from United States, Portugal will have a direct connection from mainland to the United States, which is something that doesn't exist for long. So, apart from that, our vision is that the Atlantic Cam and Portugal mainland, together with Madeira and Açores, can be a diversity point. So, in terms of vulnerabilities of the submarine cables, what we can do is try to arrange new routes, as happened in the 60s with IP. So TCP/IP was basically a protocol to assure redundancy in routes for data. We see the same happening with the new projects coming from the United States, Europe, which are now choosing Açores as a point of diversity of traffic. So, this being said, the route diversity. This map that you have seen already, it's not the first time today that you see this map, but what I think is more important is that 98%, 97, 99, depends the figures, of the intercontinental traffic is supporting submarine cables. But what is more important is that 72% of these cables share 12 different routes. So there is quite a vulnerability on this case. And that's why we see that in the North Atlantic, Portugal, Açores, And IP Telecom is doing its share on having connections for the rest of Europe to make North America to Europe, a redundancy routes from the ones that are already congested on the north of Europe. So basically, we are also having a very keen eye on security and all those aspects. They have been incorporated in the Atlantic CAM, and they will be also incorporated on the newer Surge cable. That is just to say we do have that in mind. And so this is the end of this short presentation. It was to be a short one, and I will be most delighted to answer any questions and also to participate in our panel in the next minutes. So thank you so much, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go there. So I can ask you one only question because we don't have time. So sorry about that. So thank you for your insights, and I would like to ask you, as the demand for resilient infrastructures grows, what are the key priorities to Portugal's digital backbone to strengthen that backbone over the next decade? Which would be the key priorities? Isabel, can we start with you?
So I think, first of all, planning is very important. We have to integrate our logistics in what concerns to roads, ports, and multimodal with digital infrastructure so that the things are matching. Another key is the licensing. It's very important, and also, as I told before, the part of the human capital that I think that we have to begin by the school and then from the universities to increase the development of the digital competencies in our children, in our young people. Another thing is to motivate and develop the cooperation between the government, the public, and the private companies, and also the universities, and that can startups, new companies that they can work together,
Like all the ecosystem.
all the ecosystem. So we have a good location, we have energy, we have
Talent.
you have talent, regulation,
So
and the cooperation, because there are things that can be done by the private, but also public has to create the good environment and the good regulation, and easy and quick to welcome all these projects.
thank you. Rui.
So your question was, just to remind us, was about the resilient
Yes,
resiliency, sovereignty
Yes.
in infrastructure. So what are the key priorities to make a better digital backbone over the next decade? It's very timely because, but I think it's not just about building a digital backbone. It's not just that. It's about strategic autonomy. Okay, and taking this into consideration, I would say three key priorities. The first being, of course, having redundancy and interconnection. This is really very important. So we do need a very well meshed national network connecting all cable stations, all data centers, and the border points. We are already giving our bit of of contribution to this with our backbone and our 8 interconnections to Spain, which allows us to have autonomy not only with Spain but also with the rest of Europe. Okay. Secondly, I would look at data centers and cloud. These need to be scalable and sustainable, and this is a matter of energy efficiency, which is up to every operator, I think, but also has to do with integration with renewable power, which we spoke about here. So, as being part of the REN Energy Group, I believe we are uniquely positioned to give a great contribution here by improving the interface between energy and digital. Yesterday in the panel, someone was saying in energy everyone talks about digital, and digital everyone talks about energy. So we are in the middle. I think we can make this bridge aligned with the country's decarbonization goals, like Isabel mentioned. And then security and governance. Alberto also mentioned that a resilient infrastructure has to be sovereign. This is something we have to add to the equation. And this means transparent, neutral, and based on frameworks, legal frameworks that safeguard our national interests. I think we are not there yet. I think for this, public-private collaboration is essential. So combining the private investment with national coordination will ensure that we have the right critical infrastructure. So yeah, I think focusing on these 3 points: interconnection, redundancy, cloud and data centers, which are both scalable and sustainable, and of course security and governance, we will have not only a better backbone, but
Like the best scenario.
for sure
in 10 years.
a true digital autonomy, which is the end point, I think. Here.
Yes. Thank you, Rui. Alberto.
So
Sorry.
basically what IP Telecom has been doing since the last quarter, 25 years, is implementing and developing its own network, buried network, as I said, and today it's more than 6,800 kilometers spread all over the country. So we are present at every capital of district in Portugal and more than 140 municipalities. And so we have been building over the time several rings so that the network is fully redundant and can give the enough confidence for the biggest hyperscalers in the world to come to us and to make their own network on our dark fiber network. So there are more things to say. Some things we cannot go in very deep into it because it has to be national security, etc. But today, what we have been doing is making our network more resilient, improving the optical fibers that we have. Now we have almost all the network with, this is technically, but it's very important for our customers, 652D, which is the best fiber. We are developing and we are connecting to the CLS that we have been speaking. So CLS are connected via 2 different paths. So there's always redundancy. So that's basically what we think. So it's very important to have a full buried network. That is something which is very evaluated by all the big customers. And that is one of the reasons, which is not all, but I would say most of the traffic that is carried in Portugal right now is on IP Telecom and IP network. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what we will intend to keep doing.
Okay. Thank you so much, you three, Alberto, Rui, and Isabel, for bringing these ideas and the presentations to us. And thank you for your presence.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Obrigada.